Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to what is a sunny Mugello, which has not been the case all week long. You are looking at what this is the Finali Mondiali paddock. Absolutely awesome. When Ferrari puts on a Finali Mondiali event, it is something extraordinarily special, and that's played out here in Mugello. Now, what do we have in prospect? We have the final race of the 2025 season for Ferrari Challenge North America. We have Pirelli Am drivers, Shell and Shell Am drivers. Welcome to Mugello. There is our formal welcome. And there you can see how this track really rolls through the Tuscan countryside. In North America then, seems a long time ago, I was in Sonoma for round one, then it was Daytona, Miami, Indianapolis, Watkins Glen, Laguna Seca, and Mugello for the final round. So we have some 27 drivers that will be contesting this final race of our 2025 season. Now, a number of the championships have been sealed. In fairness, the Trofeo Pirelli Championship has been sealed by Massimo Perena. Brad Falva for our Pirelli Am Championships. However, for Shell and Shell Am, still bits to play for, it has to be said, before we round out our 2025 championship season. This is the car of Johnny Kaminski, driver of car number 202, a 296 Challenge car. Johnny, son of Brian Kaminski. I have to say they're a lovely family. I have great fun with them, and Johnny Kaminski is a hugely talented young driver. Delighted to say that we have hugely talented young drivers that will be joining us on the air during the course of our broadcast this afternoon as well. I'll get to those in just a few moments when I have time to so do. But Johnny Kaminski going from pole position. Now, Dylan Medler is going from P2. You can see Dylan Medler's car there. Now, Dylan Medler has been racing not only in North America, but also in Europe as well. There is the 227 car of our new Trofeo Pirelli champion. That is Massimo Perena. Massimo, charming. Massimo from Ferrari of Seattle. And Massimo, a super talented young driver as well. And he raced in the 488 Challenge last year, migrated to the 296 Challenge this year, but it was only allowed to do it after he'd completed his studies and achieved what he needed to in his studies, because that was the rule his father had laid down for him. So well done, Massimo. And he has sealed the Trofeo Pirelli Championship in North America. And yeah, what a big grid of cars. As I say, all four classes racing together in one race. Here's Rafael Duran, who's a race winner yesterday. Rafael Duran has also raced with his father, Alberto, and they've raced together in Europe and also in North America. It's Rafael that's here for this weekend, and he was victorious yesterday. Well done, Rafael Duran, but the weather conditions yesterday were altogether different to those that we're experiencing today. This, to my knowledge, is going to be the first proper dry running that the drivers from Ferrari Challenge North America have had here in Mugello this Finali Mondiali week. There's the boss, Andrea Miladizic, who is head of Ferrari Challenge and Corso Pilota. Yeah, I got that right without even the graphics. Top guy. And well done, Andrea Miladizic, for putting together, along with your incredible team, an amazing Finali Mondiali event. Okay, let's take a look at the highlights of race one, then yesterday. As you can see, the weather conditions for race one altogether different to what was predicted for race two. And start was going to be behind the safety car for safety reasons. And so much standing water. Johnny Kaminski leading the cars away when eventually they were released and allowed to go racing, but visibility was going to be an absolute nightmare for all of the drivers driving through a sea of mist being thrown up from the cars in front, and a number of drivers really struggling with the conditions, as is to be expected. The conditions were particularly difficult. However, for Johnny Kaminski and Massimo Perena, they were up against it, and they were absolutely determined to make the most. And Massimo Perena going through on Johnny Kaminski to pick up the lead of the race. And there you could see how he had to control the car with opposite lock as it was sliding, and to the support and pleasure of the team, Now, under braking here, this was Johnny Kaminski trying to come back, but carrying so much speed into turn one, into the gravel. It was a bold move by Johnny Kaminski, but regrettably, it was never going to pay off. Now, Jan Bernier here, driver of the 332 car, in something of a battle with the 379296 challenge car. And Jan Bernier, well, he succeeded where others didn't. And as you could see, the weather conditions did not get any better at all, and Dylan Medler would be the next one to see the gravel through turn number one. And despite trying to keep his foot in, as other cars made, and that was Louis Flory who was up against the barriers. Eventually the checkered flag did come out, and it couldn't come out soon enough for some of those drivers out there, I can assure you. And well done to all of those through terribly tricky conditions. Massimo Perina, Roberto Perina doing very well. There is Massimo. His father Tino was first there to congratulate him with a healthy slap around the head, I have to say. That's how you get congratulated. So I mentioned then we've got a couple of talented young stars with us for this broadcast as well. Dino Beganovic is here as well. Dino, good afternoon. Welcome to the broadcast booth and welcome to the studio. I hope you're okay. Tell us a bit. I mean, you're a member of the Ferrari Driver Academy, a super single-seater star, and someone, as I recall, who has driven the SF25 this year. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here and actually commentating with you. So it's very nice. No, but it's true. I've driven the SF25 this year, yes. And it's been amazing sharing the track with Lewis and taking over with for Charles. So it's been a big dream for me.
I have to say, Dino, and you say it's a big dream for you. You know, I feel very privileged to be able to broadcast on behalf of this wonderful brand, the Prancing Horse brand that is Ferrari. For you to be at the absolute pinnacle where you are a young, talented driver, and not only a young, talented driver in single-seaters, but getting the opportunity, as you say, to be in Charles' car and drive it. I mean, come on, that is... Did you ever imagine you would be in that position?
Not really. I mean, one of my dreams was obviously to drive a Formula One car.
Of course.
Then for it to be Charles in a Ferrari, in a red car, working with the Ferrari people, the very talented engineers and mechanics, and all the people that are there. So it's amazing.
Coming into Ferrari Challenge weekend, I'm always super excited. You know, meeting all my team again. We have a really good package, as I said before. Finale is definitely way different. There's so many more fans, so much more attention, eagerness. But every Ferrari Challenge weekend is different, ups and downs, and sometimes we get some really good results, which gives us high hopes. It takes a lot of preparation into it. We have to practice double the amount of time. The competition is way different in both series. But what we really have to do is keep our heads down and really look for those tenths in every single corner and see what happens. My car, I've been able to drive it for 2 years now. Really built to, you know, be good with it. Moving from the 488 Challenge, it was a big difference, but now it's definitely basically a second part of my body. So I feel really good in it, especially in the wet here in Mugello. It's gonna look good, and I feel very connected. Finali Mondiali is definitely the most exciting part of the year. You know, everything builds up to that. You know, you secure all the championship points, but the World Final is definitely the most exciting part of the year. You're on the top of the show. You know, if you win, you're the world champion. So it's one race. Go get them.
Thank you very much, Dylan Medler, and thank you, Dino Beganovic, just ahead of that, one of the talented young drivers that we've got here with us on the air. Here is the Mugello Circuit then, 5.245 kilometers. Now, depending on how you count them, it's either 14 or 15 turns. I prefer 14, like I know what I'm talking about. 6 left, 8 right, 3 turns in Sector 1, 6 in Sector 2, and 5 in Sector 3. And it's what racing drivers like Dino would say is a very technical circuit. Whatever that may mean, we will find out. Okay, we're about to get going then, and the cars are released on their formation lap. Always a rolling start in the Ferrari Challenge. We'll bring you the grid in full from back to front, and it is a big grid of some 27 cars here for Ferrari Challenge North America. Their final race of the 2025 season. What an epic season it has been. It started all in Sonoma, in California, and David Williams will be going from the 14th row. It's P27 for the Copa Shell AM driver with Tom Petramalo and Matthew Herfield. Then it's Brad Evans and Gabe Harib. Gabe Harib still in with a good chance of taking that Copa Shell AM title. Michael Owens wants to do something about that. Brian Waltersdorf is alongside. They complete row 11. It's Louis Flory and Andrew Parker going from P20 and P19. Then we find Lisa Clark and Chuck Whittle. They are P18 and P17. They complete row 9. Kevin Orsini and Stephanie Herfield. Stephanie Herfield doing really well yesterday, P16 and P15. Jan Bernier and Melissa Kozira, both of those drivers are superstars as well. Then it's Ray Acosta and Gerda Svenslovas going from P12 and P11. Both could be danger men from the 6th row. Sebastian Mascaro and Esteban Beckman. And then it's Mitchell Green and Jay Logan. Mitchell Green still in with a fight for the Shell Championship. Brad Falva and Roberto Perina are P6 and P5. It's Massimo Perina going from the 2nd row of the grid with Rafael Duran alongside. And then it is from P2, Dylan Medler. From P1, it is Johnny Kaminski. So the car's all weaving from side to side, trying to generate some temperature into these tyres. Dino, quickly, please, if I may ask you, I said, very like I knew what I was talking about, that this is a technical circuit. What do I mean by that?
Yeah, just to touch on that part, it is a very technical circuit because it's very high speed and you got this combination of corners everywhere. So all these chicanes are very tricky, and it's a chain effect in the end. If you miss the first one, you will miss this next one, and that results in a very loss of lap time. So it is a very technical circuit, but I think one that a lot of drivers like.
I agree with you. Baku, a track you like. You were victorious there this year. Tell me about that. I mean, that's really, you're having a pointer between the walls, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. It was a great weekend. It was a great bounce back for what has been a bit of a tough season. But
sure.
Yeah, it was great to race there for the first time and to take home the first victory of the year.
Dino, great to talk to you. Thank you. We will hear some more from Dino during the course of the race, but we're going to bring in Rafael in just a few moments' time. So they're going to swap places, which is kind of difficult here in the studio to make that happen. But hopefully we will do that before we get the race underway. We'll swap those two guys around, and we'll be hearing from each of them during the course of the race. So cars side by side then, grid formation then, with the Richard Mills safety car leading the cars away then. As always, formation lap. It is a rolling start in the Ferrari Challenge, and as you can see, it's a huge grid of cars, 27 cars. And they mix across the Pirelli AM, Shell, and Shell AM as well. Hold on to your hats. We're about to go racing. So as they head towards the start-finish line, then the lighting gantry we throw to the top of the screen for you so that you can see exactly what the drivers can see. And when the lights go out, we will be racing. All 4 categories, Ferrari Challenge North America, gonna go for the final time in 2025. Let's go racing. 30 minutes plus 1 lap. It's Johnny Kaminski, Dylan Medler, side by side. Cold tyres going into turn number 1. Who is going to be brave? Who is going to really make a go for it here? Well, Johnny Kaminski, you can see the car skittish under braking, but he's got the inside line. Dylan Medler trying to go around the outside. That would become the inside for the next line, but I think Johnny Kaminski has done enough. Is he going to be able to close the door? All the drivers get through the first sequence of turns okay, and he has been able to convert that pole position into the race lead. Brilliant job done by Johnny Kaminski. Now, who has dropped down the order here? I think Rafael Duran is he's certainly leading in the Pirelli AMs. And just a little bit of panel rubbing going on further down the field. It is Kaminski from Medler, from Perina. Then it is Duran, Logan, Beckman, Mascaro. They're the top drivers in terms of the Pirelli AM. For the Shell drivers, it's Jan Bernier. He's ahead of Gerda Svenslovas. There's Ray Acosta. Ray Acosta is in a real battle here. You can see in the all-red car, got another car out wide. Melissa Kozira is leading for the Shell AM driver. She was victorious yesterday. Is she going to be able to repeat that success today? So much going on in the opening laps here. Here's Ray Acosta then, or you could see Ray Acosta there. He's just ducked into that. We've got a yellow flag at turn 8, which would indicate someone has perhaps dipped into the corner there. Hopefully they're going to be able to get it out, and that yellow flag will be rescinded pretty quickly. Wonder if that's Rafael Duran. He's dropping down the order now, we can see from our timing screen. But we catch up with our race leader here, Johnny Kaminski, leading from Dylan Medler. The yellow flag has been released, which means whatever problem it was for, we think, Rafael Duran, he's been able to get the car out. Jay Logan is ahead of Beckman and Mascaro. They're the top three for Trofeo Pirelli Am here. It is Ferrari Challenge North America. Delighted to bring you race 2 here live from the Mugello Circuit. Through the speed camera we go as these wonderful 296 Challenge cars. Johnny Kaminski, Dylan Medler, Roberto Perina and Massimo Perina, they are the top 4. And Dylan Medler, right, now beginning to turn up the pressure on Johnny Kaminski just a little bit here. Slightly different lines between both of those drivers. Dylan Medler, as he mentioned, been racing both in North America and in Europe as well. Really knows the Mugello circuit actually quite well, and it seems to suit him. I have to say that probably Dylan would like it to be damp conditions once again, but he's faring really well as he's chasing Johnny Kaminski right now. The gap between them is just 5 tenths, and it's a further few tenths back to Roberto Perina, who's ahead of Massimo currently. Massimo Perina, of course, the new Trofeo Pirelli champion. So the order in Trofeo Pirelli is Johnny Kaminski from Dylan Medler. In Pirelli Am, Jay Logan from Beckman. For the Shell drivers, it's Jan Bernier ahead of Mitchell Green. And for our Shell Am drivers, it is Melissa Kozira ahead of Michael Owens. That's the way it looks currently in terms of each of the categories. So I promised we were going to hear from Rafa Camara, another Scuderia Ferrari driver, Academy driver, as we get a replay of the start. We'll hear from him in just a moment, and we can see here as the cars got away, heading in towards turn number 1. I think everyone doing a really, really good job here, getting through turn 1, where it's, I'm not going to say it's a funnel, but you certainly carry so much speed going into that turn. Then you, the right-hander, you have to get the car rotated, and then you're climbing uphill into the first chicane of the circuit. And that was what it was like riding on board with Dylan Medler as he was chasing down the car of Johnny Kaminski. Now we've got in replay, you can see that car going out wide and onto the tarmac runoff area, which pleasingly very good. And that was the 3-2-1 car going around there with something of an assist. Let's go back to the live pictures, which gives me the opportunity to bring into our broadcast here Rafa Camara, a Formula 3 driver, 4 years in the Scuderia Ferrari Driver Academy. Welcome, Rafa. Well, very, very pleased that you're on the air with us here. It's kind of quite exciting as a racing driver, surely, to see it from a different perspective as a broadcaster. This is what I have to talk about you all the time like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit strange thing for us. Looking the race, normally we are there and driving. But yeah, it's nice fun to be here watching and see how is the racecraft and how the drivers is fighting.
I asked Dino about the technicality of this particular circuit. I mean, clearly you're a single-seater racer, which is different to racing these 296 Challenge cars, but nonetheless, as we've got a safety car, this gives us a real opportunity for, oh my goodness me, someone has gone in there. You can see debris all over the track. Can we see in replay what happened here? Wow, that I would suggest looked like a tyre that let go, would you say?
Yep.
And the safety car has been brought out. I just want to check out who that was. I think it might have been, I'm not familiar with the liveries of these cars. I only did North America once this year when I went over to Sonoma. I have a feeling that might be Louis Flory, I think. And there you can see Louis Flory. The graphics are on the screen, which would indicate that might be the case. Now, the integral safety of the Ferrari Challenge 296 car is extraordinary. Really, really good car. Yeah, fingers crossed that Louis is all perfectly okay. That's one of the fastest parts of the circuit, Rafa, because of course you've come out of the final turn. You get a slingshot out of the final turn. Then on the start-finish straight, where you've got a couple of elevation changes as well, you know, you're doing quite a speed there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not the best place to have this problem, but yeah, the drive should be okay.
Here's Johnny Kaminski then, leader of the race before the safety car was called out. and Dylan Medler P2. Jay Logan and Beckman were P1 and P2 in terms of Trofeo Pirelli AM drivers. For the Shell drivers, Jan Bernier and Mitchell Green, and for the Shell AM drivers, Melissa Kozira ahead of Michael Owens. So anyway, what I should say, because we've kind of rushed you into the broadcast here, you're driving Formula 3, yes?
Yeah, I did Formula 3 this year, and next year I'll be doing the Formula 2.
Well done, you. That's brilliant news, because these wonderful single-seaters where you move up from Formula 3 to Formula 2, and then, of course, what is the aspiration, what is the dream, of course, it's going to be Formula 1, yeah. Isn't it? But yeah, so, yes, from Formula 3 to Formula 2, I know that it's a big step with every step you take in terms of single-seaters, and you know, having done so well in Formula 3, you know, you've got to dig deep and get more out of yourself, haven't you, to go into Formula 2? How on earth do you prepare for that?
Yeah, I mean, we always try to prepare as much as we can. The winter test with the team simulator, so I think we prepare quite a lot off track, and then once we are on track, we are very limited with laps.
Yes.
So we need to make sure we are prepared for every scenario, and then once we are on track, we know already what to do.
Well, that's great to see. Louis Flory is out of the car and perfectly okay. However, the Mugello circuit, of course, the medical team are on there just to make sure Louis is all right. And as I was saying, the integral safety of the 296 Challenge car, absolutely unquestioned. But that was really, really good to see. There is Johnny Kaminsky's father, Brian Kaminsky, just to the left of your picture there with the sunglasses on. I just thought I'd mention that. So, yeah, you're going to do as much as you can during the course of the winter. This season has been a very, very good season for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great season. We started on the right foot, I would say. Melbourne, right in pole position in a race win. And then after, obviously it was a new car, so the team did an amazing job to start the season in a good way. And then after, we just managed to keep improving and never relaxing during the championship, and were able to close in Budapest.
Budapest is where you did it. Rafa, the boring old questions that you always get from broadcasters like me. Favourite race this year?
Favorite race, I would say Budapest. Yeah.
Got to be, because that's the one where you sealed it.
Yeah, not only because we closed the championship, but it was a very intense weekend, and quali was very close to go wrong. Things. But and then not easy conditions on Sunday, where it was dump the track, and was a very tricky race. So it was good to close like that, and yeah.
And same question as I made to Dino, really. You know, motor racing is a very, very emotive thing, and when you've made the decision that you want to be a professional racing driver, you are a professional racing driver. You're supremely talented. To actually be involved in this wonderful sport with the biggest brand, the most renowned brand, the most revered brand, you know, Ferrari. Yeah, that must still give you butterflies in the stomach. That still must make you feel terribly, terribly good.
Yeah, I mean, I was very nervous when I did a scouting camp for Ferrari. And once I joined, was a good relief. Very happy. I think when I started, I never imagined to be where I am today. And then I'm just trying to secure the best, do my best job as I can, and see where I can end up. But like you said, it's a very good feeling to be in such a big brand for motorsport, such a unique team.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, it feels like a big family. So I just enjoy it.
It's the very point I was thinking to make to you, because I can remember 14, 15 years ago when I was invited to come and do some work for Ferrari. Some people said to me that are involved in motor racing, and I was with single seaters at the time as well, not clearly as a driver. I was barely the size of a small wheelbarrow. Quite clearly it was always as a broadcaster, never as a driver. But somebody said to me that when you join the Prancing Horse brand, and when you do something with Ferrari, you become a member of a really, really big family. And I thought, that's hyperbole, that's not true. Absolutely it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, they are very similar to the Brazilian, I think, with emotions. Everyone is so emotive.
Yes.
Everyone is putting so much passion, so I think this is what makes so special.
Rafa, it's been a joy to talk to you. I'm going to swap you around again, and I know you didn't want to do any talking. I'm really grateful that you have. We're going to bring Dino back in, and Dino can't stop talking. That's the problem we have with him. Thanks, Rafa, very, very much, and thanks for taking time to be with us here. Dino Beganovic is going to be back with us in just a moment, and 18.5 minutes plus 1 lap still to go. Dino, it was really nice to talk to Rafa. He's completely different to you in character, that's for sure, and it's just wonderful because we meet characters like you who are the young superstars of the future, and for me it's a thrill to get to know you guys and to realise that, you know, we're going to be talking about stars of the future here, and we are talking about stars of the future, you know. Do you get a bit headstrong, Dino? Do you think, this is all going terribly well? Or do you have to keep your feet firmly planted on the ground? Forgive me asking you such a left field question.
No, it's a good question. I mean, it's very easy to get carried away when you have a very good season or have a very good race, but you need to have the right people around you that can take you down to earth, remember who you are.
You've met one today, haven't you?
Exactly. No, but it's very important to have the right people around you, and I have a great team around me, with my family, with my manager, so I'm very pleased with that.
You're mentioning something there that's really important, and we will get back to what we're seeing on the screen in just a moment, I promise you, dear audience, but having Dino and Rafa with us, we want to make the most of the short time we've got, because they've got to go off and do podium duties, I know, as well as a host of other things, because we get the most out of our young stars. The support of the team around you, but also the support of your family, because without that it would become so much more difficult to achieve what you want to achieve, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, my family has done, and for most other drivers, everything they can to put me in the position to be a racing driver and to be chasing my dream, which is Formula 1. So having them with me on this journey, we're doing it together, is not only me, is very important for me.
Brilliant stuff. Right, back to a racing point now I'd like you to make. We've done a couple of laps behind the safety car here. Now, of course, with a single-seater, it's completely different to the 296 Challenge car. I appreciate that, but in principle, there are similarities, and that is, you've got to try and keep temperature together in that car, haven't you? And I'm always seeing these drivers, and you're the same. You know, you weave from side to side. I mean, does that really work, Dino, or is it psychological?
No, it does work. Trust me. No, it does a big difference for the tire temperatures, and you want to be ready to take the opportunity when the restart goes and the safety car comes in to either gain a spot or just not be under threat from behind. So trust me, it does make a difference to weave on the straights. On these cars, I think, as well, quite a lot, like in the single-seaters.
Thank you very much, Dino. Right, just to bring you up to speed in where we are with the championship, if everything stayed this way, because there are 2 championships up for grabs in this race, and that's the Shell Championship and the Shell Am Championship. Those 2 titles are still to be awarded. By our calculations, if everything finished right now, Jan Bernier would take the Shell Championship, 12 points ahead of Mitchell Green, and in Shell Am, it would be Michael Owens who would take the championship by 1 point from Gabe Harib. So that's the way it looks in Shell Am, that's the way it looks in Shell. So still everything to play for. Thanks so much to Nico production team behind me, who's keeping an eye on those points for us. So to give you the order where we are behind the safety car at the moment, leading in the Pirelli race is Johnny Kaminsky for Ferrari of Long Island. For our Pirelli Am drivers is Jay Logan, Ferrari of Austin. Safety car is going to come in at the conclusion of this lap, I'm being told. Jan Bernier leading for the Shell drivers, for the Shell Am drivers, Melissa Kozira once again, as she did yesterday. Okay, when the racing driver is informed the safety car is going to come in at the end of this lap, what do you do, Dino, now that will prepare you for the restart? Because basically, the leading car, Johnny Kaminsky, he's going to stack them all up, isn't he? And it's down to Dylan Medler to try and anticipate when Johnny is going to really give it a footful on the loud pedal.
Yeah, exactly. When you hear that message from the engineer, you really just want to get back to the zone, make sure you have got everything ready for the restart, and seeing yourself, kind of preparing yourself what to do going into T1 and hopefully have a good restart. So now I think the drivers are very focused, obviously, for when the leader is going to go and hopefully take an opportunity out of it.
There is also this horrible expression in motor racing, Dino, that safety cars sometimes breed other safety cars, don't they? Because you've got the whole lot, you're all bunched up together once again. It is like a restart, isn't it?
Yeah, right. And obviously everybody is trying to take that opportunity to move forward.
Yes.
And that's when it can become tricky.
let's hope everything goes well. Here, the Richard Mille safety car, which is being driven this weekend by a top driver who I will mention in just a few moments' time. But you can see here Dylan Medler's trying to bury himself into the back of Johnny Kaminski here. Antonio Tamburini is the driver of our safety car. So Dylan Medler is going to try and anticipate when Johnny Kaminski is going to go for it. And as I say, you could barely fit the width of a piece of paper between the two drivers. He's gone now. Johnny has given it a footful. Of course, no overtake until you hit the line. First four cars are really away. Johnny Kaminski, Dylan Medler, Roberto Perina and Massimo Perina. And is Johnny Kaminski going to be able to hold on to this going into turn number one? Where's Dylan Medler going to try and make a move? And are the Perinas going to get involved as well? Massimo taking a look at the inside here. Roberto Perina also taking a look at Dylan Medler, but it's as we were as they take turn number one. So it's I would have said, a really good restart there from Johnny Kaminski, who managed to eke out just enough of a gap to prevent any problems for himself. It's Jay Logan leading for our Pirelli AM drivers ahead of Beckman and Mascaro and Ray Acosta, and then Brad Falva and Jan Bernier leading for our Shell drivers, with Melissa Kozira leading for the Shell AM drivers. Now, car 328 is going to get a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. That's David Williams, the Ferrari of Central Florida driver. And there you can see that on screen as Ray Acosta is chasing down Sebastian Mascaro ahead. So cars accelerating. And this really something of a roller coaster of a circuit that is Mugello, with just 12 minutes plus 1 lap remaining here in the Ferrari Challenge, the final North American race. A big race going on here between Beckman and, between Acosta and Mascaro. They're driving the 208 car is the Ferrari of Seattle driver Esteban Beckman, the sort of burgundy colours, if you will. And they're the drivers in the Pirelli as well. And the top two drivers, Johnny Kaminski and Dylan Medler, have broken away a bit from Roberto Perina and Massimo Perina. Of course, all these drivers will be thinking about the world final race to come tomorrow, but Esteban Beckman is really chasing Jay Logan here. Jay Logan having to stick his elbows out and make the car a bit wider than it really is. And Beckman now getting to the inside, but will he get this slingshot? Oh, very nearly a touch between them, but healthy respect between those two drivers. They are absolutely side by side, running up the start-finish straight here, and the big beneficiary could be Sebastian Mascaro, potentially. He's right behind them, 3 abreast going into turn number one, with Ray Acosta standing by at the back as well. Whoa, that could have been oh so different, and still could be oh so different as around goes the Beckman car. I have to say that's so bitterly disappointing, because they're done so well. And I said keep your eye on Ray Acosta. He could be the big beneficiary here. And Ray Acosta all over. Ray Acosta driving that multi-red coloured 296 challenge car. That one there, 207, is Ray Acosta. And Ray Acosta now looking at the inside, but there's no real way through there, I wouldn't have suggested, but he has certainly got the bit between his teeth. Sebastian Mascaro and Ray Acosta, some brilliant driving going on here. I'll tell you what, Dino, there were some heart-stopping moments there just for a minute.
Yeah, definitely going into T1 3 wide is something you don't really want to do, but great racing there from all three drivers. Just a shame, frustrating to miss out there in the exit.
In replay, this was the moment Dino was talking about. And up to that point, absolutely no contact between any of the well, only a little. But there, I mean, when you're on a knife edge there, you know, the car's going to let go, and it did.
Yeah, exactly. And as you have the load all the way there, and it's just a shame to have that contact, and it's clearly just a racing incident.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the Ferrari of Seattle driver Esteban Beckman, credit to him for trying to do what he did. In the meantime, let's just keep an eye here. Something I've just picked up from our timing screen, Dino, is that our race leader, Johnny Kaminski, is on 3 warnings for track limits. The rule is in the Ferrari Challenge, Ray Acosta was, goodness, is he going to get to the inside here? Ray Acosta and Sebastian Mascaro, he's done it! He has gone through. I didn't think that was going to work. I thought he was going to carry too much speed. But he held on to that. Ray Acosta often says to me in the paddock, he says, I'm going to try and put a show on for you, Dave. And generally he does, with some extraordinary driving. Right, I was going to say, in the Ferrari Challenge, you have 3 warnings for track limits. After 3 warnings, when it becomes your 4th warning, you get a penalty, 5 seconds. And you hate to see races won and lost on track limits, but track limits is something that is talked about a lot in motor racing, Dino, and it happens to you guys as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and I think track limits in general on this track is very common, as they are very big runoff. It's a MotoGP track as well, and it's some very long corners with these GT cars to run, so I see why it's happening, but now you just gotta stay cool and obviously not take any risk of that.
And it becomes harder, does it not, as the race has gone on, because of course tyre deck plays a part, fuel load has gone down as well. You've got a lighter car and you've got tyres that afford you less grip than they did at the start of the race.
Oh yeah, definitely, and even more so because if you're fighting with the guy in P2, it's gonna be even more frustrating that you can't push the car to the full limit. So you need to keep some margin in some corners, and especially with fighting.
Thank you, Dino. Brilliant that you and Rafa have been with us during the broadcast this afternoon for our final Ferrari Challenge North America race of the season, as we ride on board with Dylan Midler now, trying to go around the outside of Johnny Kaminski and almost making it work. Incidentally, Dylan Medler has set the fastest lap for the Pirelli drivers. For the Pirelli AM drivers, it's Ray Acosta who's now leading, having got past Jay Logan as well as Sebastian Mascaro. For the Shell drivers, it's Jan Bernier, and for the AM drivers, Shell AM, it's Melissa Kozira with the fastest lap. Just under 7 minutes, plus a lap remaining. Car 229 getting a time penalty of 5 seconds for track limits. And that is the Sebastian Mascaro car. So Sebastian Mascaro, who's currently in a provisional podium place for the Pirelli AM drivers, is going to lose out to Brad Falver, potentially. We ride on board with Dylan Medler. We run the telemetry as well, and you can see when the figures are green, they're accelerating. When they're red, they're braking. And now you can hear Dylan Medler braking in that Ferrari 296 challenge car of his. 3 track limits for Johnny Kaminski. I just wonder, as a racing driver like Dylan Medler, Dino, if your team tell you that the driver in front of you is on his limit for track limits warnings, are you going to try and push just a little bit harder, try and get him to make a mistake and run wide?
No, you're always gonna try to push him as much as possible, not physically push him, but push him under pressure. But in the end, you're always focusing on yourself and your own race. There's so much going on in a race car, that's the only thing you can do.
Well, listen, with just under 6 minutes remaining, I know you guys have got to go off and do other things. So whilst it's relatively quiet, he says, I'm going to say a big thank you to Dino Beganovic and also Rafa Kamara for being with us this afternoon. And we're going to release you here as Dylan Medler goes to the outside. We've got a yellow flag at turn 10. But Dylan Medler having another go. He rehearsed that a lap ago. It didn't work then, and it didn't work again now. But you get the impression that it's a question of when, not if, Dylan Medler comes through to pick up the lead of this race. So, yes, as I was saying, I'm going to release these guys, let them go. Both young drivers from the Ferrari Driver Academy. We've been thrilled that you've joined us here. You go off and do your other duties now, and I hope we get to see you again on the air very soon. Thank you, Rafa. Thank you, Dino. Really nice to meet you both, and you've done a great job. Johnny Kaminski then still holding on to this from Dylan Medler, but by literally just a couple of tenths. So with under 5 minutes plus 1 lap, here is Ray Acosta, and Ray Acosta and Jay Logan having such a battle here. A time penalty of 5 seconds for car number 316. And that is Kevin Orsini, the Wide World Ferrari driver. So yellow flag at turn number 11 now. So Ray Acosta leading for the Pirelli AM drivers, ahead of Jay Logan and Sebastian Mascaro. Sebastian Mascaro, bear in mind, has got a 5-second time penalty, so that's going to help Brad Falver. So it's Johnny Kaminski, Dylan Medler, Roberto Perina ahead of Massimo Perina. And in replay here, you can see the 303 car there being caught out, and Whoa, onto the grass as well. That was a scary moment for the 302 car of Gabe Harib. That sees his championship aspirations, I'm sorry to say, are gone away. So 3.5 minutes and a lap, and all of a sudden Dylan Medler is ahead of Johnny Kaminsky. We'll get a replay, hopefully, of that overtake. Johnny Kaminsky now about to be mugged, I think, by Roberto Perina. So Dylan Medler leading this race now, ahead of Johnny Kaminsky, and behind Johnny Kaminsky, Roberto Perina and Massimo Perina, both from the Ferrari of Seattle organization, of course. But now look, Dylan Medler has been released from the cork in the bottle that, as far as he was concerned, was Johnny Kaminsky. How did he do it? Did I miss it live? I don't think so, but hopefully we'll get a replay of that overtake that changed the lead of the race. Dylan Medler ahead of Johnny Kaminsky, Roberto Perina and Massimo Perina then. Bear in mind, Dylan Medler got 2 track limits warnings. He can ill afford another one. Otherwise, he would be in penalty scenario country. 2.5 minutes plus 1 lap. Medler, fastest lap. Ray Acosta, fastest lap for the Pirelli AM drivers. For the Shell drivers, fastest lap, Jan Bernier and Melissa Kazira, and this is how Dylan Medler done. He 3 laps. 3 laps he'd rehearsed that move, and that's how he made it work. He actually didn't complete it until he was going through the chicane. And in replay here, we can see from riding on board with Dylan Medler, I mean, there was, to be fair, racing room left by both of the drivers, but thanks to our team for getting us that replay as quickly as they could. That's how Dylan Medler made it into the lead of the race overall, and certainly the lead in Trofeo Pirelli. And look at the gap he's made of 1.384 seconds already between P1 and P2. So it's Dylan Medler, Johnny Kaminsky, P1 and P2. It's Ray Acosta, Jay Logan, P1 and P2 for Pirelli AM. For Shell, it's Jan Bernier ahead of Mitchell Green. And for the Shell AM drivers, Melissa Kozira ahead of Michael Owens. Michael Owens on target, I would have suggested, to take the championship now from Gabe Harib. The 2 contenders, if you will, for the Shell Am Championship, Gabe Harib and Michael Owens. I think it's for sure going to go Michael Owens' way. So, Medler and Kaminsky then. Kaminsky now having to defend from Roberto Perina and Massimo Perina, although he's got a bit in reserve, I would have suggested. We've got a minute left, plus 1 lap of this Ferrari Challenge North America Race 2, which has been full of incident and drama, and some brilliant racing as well. Ray Acosta, a phenomenal drive from Ray Acosta. We see it so often from Ray. He can really drive. Incidentally, Custodio Toledo, who Ray and Custodio are well known, and Custodio is here this weekend as well. It's really, really good to have a catch up with him earlier on in the weekend. But Ray Acosta now driving not only in North America but also in Europe as well. So Dylan Medler and Johnny Kaminsky, the P1, P2 for Pirelli drivers. It's Ray Acosta, Jay Logan, the P1, P2 for the AM drivers. For the Shell drivers, Jan Bernier and Mitchell Green. For the Shell AM drivers, Melissa Kozira and Michael Owens. So as they cross the timing line now, Dylan Medler has crossed it with about 8 seconds left. So that means we're going to get 2 more laps of racing. So the remainder of this lap plus 1 more. Johnny Kaminsky has picked up a time penalty of 5 seconds. That means that the likes of Roberto Perina and Massimo Perina are probably going to get elevated to P2 and P3, and Johnny Kaminsky is going to drop down to P4 because of that time penalty. So what he would need to do now is break away from these drivers with a margin of 5 seconds to nullify the time penalty, which I think is going to be quite a big ask, honestly. So our podium might look altogether different to those cars that you see out on track right now. I think it's going to be Dylan Medler, top step of the podium, no questioning that, with 3 seconds to go. Sorry, 3 seconds, 3.3 seconds of margin ahead of Johnny Kaminsky. And then it will be Roberto Perina, Massimo Perina probably vaulting Johnny Kaminsky, but Dylan Medler has just picked up his third track limit warning. So this in replay then. Dylan, having, as I say, rehearsed this for 2 or 3 laps, this was the one, I think, when it counted. As he headed up to the chicane, he'd still got his nose ahead, and that's why he was able to make that stick going through that chicane. So, yeah, just to add some more drama here, Dylan Medler has just picked up the 3rd track limits warning, but he's just crossed the timing line to start what will be the final lap of this race. Dylan Medler, Johnny Kaminsky, Roberto Perina, Massimo Perina. Roberto and Massimo having a drag race here. Massimo, of course, the new Trofeo Pirelli champion. And both of them going to be appearing on the podium at this rate because of the 5-second time penalty for Johnny Kaminsky. Driver of that car, super looking car, the 202 car, and Johnny is such a talented young driver. So too is Dylan Medler. And look at this, in the space of just 3 laps or so, he's built up a margin of 4.293, 4.352, make that right now as he crossed the sector line. A huge margin. So, championship sorted in Trofeo Pirelli. It is Perina, Massimo Perina, who is champion for Trofeo Pirelli Am. It's Brad Frauver. It's the Shell and Shell Am championships that are up for grabs in this race, and we'll bring you an update in just a moment in terms of where we think it's going to be, because we are on the final lap right now. The checkered flag is awaiting, and Dylan Medler is frustrated behind traffic, but actually he's got a margin of 2.7 seconds. Don't bin it all now, Dylan, as he goes to the outside here around the final turn. Dylan Medler will head towards the checkered flag, which will be unfurled, and the team, the collection, Ferrari of Miami, going to be pretty happy about this, as Dylan Medler heads towards the checkered flag and wins at Mugello. Well done, Dylan Medler. Well done, Roberto Perina and Massimo Perina, who take P2, P3 by dint of Johnny Kaminsky picking up that time penalty. And Alessandro Balzan, part of the team, a driver coach, and Orlam Sonara on the pit wall as well. Well done to Ray Acosta for winning the Pirelli Am race ahead of Jay Logan and Brad Falver. And so many cars to cross the line here, but it should be Jan Bernier who will take the win in Shell, which should mean that Jan Bernier seals the championship. Jan Bernier does cross the line, and finishing ahead of Mitchell Green, who should take a P2, but he's some distance down. He hasn't crossed the timing line quite yet, but he has now, so Mitchell Green seals P2. We await Melissa Kozira for Ferrari of Naples to take the win in Ferrari Challenge Copa Shell Am. We're on board with Dylan Medler, race winner here in Mugello. And sure enough, Melissa Kozira has crossed the timing line. So what a weekend it has been for Melissa Kozira, who has taken the two wins. Just going to check out the points here, but I think it's done. I think Jan Bernier has done it, and so has Michael Owens. So that means Mitchell Green and Gabe Harib are the bridesmaids. It is Jan Bernier and Michael Owens that are champions for Shell and Shell Am. That's subject to confirmation, of course. It's our calculations with chalk and blackboard here that we've been doing during the course of the afternoon, thanks to my colleague Nico, who's been working on those figures and crunching the numbers. Dylan Medler's pretty pleased about that win. He really, really does deserve that. Works really hard at his racing, and he's a super young man. So Dylan Medler, race winner for Pirelli. Pirelli Am, it's Ray Acosta. For Shell, it's Jan Bernier. For Shell Am, it is Melissa Kozira. So Dylan is into the pit lane then, and the cars will be down in Parc Fermé. It'll be a busy place down there, that's for sure. So there he goes to park in front of the P1 board because he is the race winner. Well done, Dylan Medler. Many, many congratulations. Yes, the Ferrari of Miami driver is pretty happy with that. Will he climb to the roof of the car? He sometimes does. No, don't think so. So head and neck support is going to come off. Crash helmet will come off. The collection, Ferrari of Miami and Dylan Medler. Bravo, bravo. That's Ale Balzan, I'm sure. I recognize his voice congratulating Dylan Medler straight away. Also coming in, Roberto Perina and Massimo Perina, the Perina family successful. Of course, Massimo Perina having taken the championship. These wonderful Ferrari Challenge 296 cars. Leave a lot of space, do they, when they park them up there in Parc Fermé. Ray Acosta for Pirelli Am, of course. Jan Bernier for the Shell drivers. Here, Roberto Perina then. He's a pretty big fella, in all honesty. Congratulated by Hassan Debussy and also Tino Perina down there. And here's Ray Acosta. Ray being congratulated, rightly so. We're going to hear from Dylan Medler in due course. He, of course, Trofeo Pirelli race winner. This is going to be an interesting interview because Dylan Medler's 7 foot tall and Ludovica's 4 foot nothing. Let's hear from Dylan now.
Dylan, congratulations. What an incredible race here at Mugello Circuit. How do you feel and how do you manage the car and the feeling with the car?
Such an amazing win here. Is the final race in North America, so it's a good way to end the season. We had a bunch of bad luck, but managing the tires was the most important part because at the end I had the most pace because in the beginning I was taking it slowly. When I had my chance to attack, I attacked, and then from then on we were gone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well done, Dylan. Great job, done well. And the Pirelli Am winner, the collection driver, Ray Acosta, who said just ahead of the race, when I spoke to him, he said, I'm going to put a show on for you, Dave. And he always does, and he's delivered in that show today by taking the win. We'll hear from him in due course. He'll be busy signing autographs for his fan club, I suspect. But we'll be hearing from Jan Bernier as well, the Shell winner. Okay, and it's going to be Jan Bernier that we hear from next. Of course, he has sealed the Shell Championship, and he's a super guy. Let's hear from him. He's with Ludovica right now. Jan Bernier, the winner in Shell.
Congratulations, your smile say more than words. So how do you feel? I want to discover your feeling to be here and to win in Mugello Circuit.
To come to Ferrari's homeland at Mugello and win is kind of the best race experience I've had. It's a fantastic start. We got really good weather today, got to show some speed, stayed clean, got a little luck, was fast, made no mistakes, get to stand up there and spray the champagne again. Super happy. Thank you to my family for letting me come do this. Miss you guys. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done, Jan Bernier. Thanking his family, allowing him to come and do this. Ferrari Challenge North America Race 2 then. Johnny Kaminsky with the multicolored wheels. I love the wheels on Johnny Kaminsky's car. And Dylan Medler were on the front row of the grid. And as they headed in towards turn number 1, dry weather conditions for all of our Ferrari Challenge drivers. Thankfully, around turn number 1 then, most getting away okay, some not getting away perfectly. Ray Acosta was on something of a mission straight away in the multi-red colours you could see there, and Dylan Medler was chasing down. Jan Bernier was also another driver on a mission. Now Jan Bernier with a position potentially to take this Shell race, and with it the title as well. Lots of action going on all over the track, including Matthew Herfield going around for the Ferrari of Philadelphia organization. Safety car was brought out. When the safety car went back in, we would go back to racing again. And track limits were going to become something of an issue And 3 and 4 abreast on occasions would become something of an issue for some of the drivers as well. And that was really, really unfortunate. Now, Ray Acosta, I mentioned, was on something of a mission here, driving in the Pirelli AM category and picking up the lead of Pirelli AM. Deservedly so, with big driving from Ray Acosta. Regrettably going around then with a little bit of an assist was Michael Owens. And here was Dylan Medler. He was researching where he could potentially take the overtake. And Gabe Harib, unfortunately, would see his championship aspirations go away. Dylan Medler, as I mentioned, had rehearsed this 2 or 3 times. Eventually, he made it stick and did get by. Johnny Kaminsky, who had around about the same time picked up a time penalty, which meant Dylan Medler would win ahead of Roberto Perina and Massimo Perina. In Pirelli, it'll be Ray Acosta for Pirelli AM. Confirmation of the classification then. Dylan Medler, Roberto Perina, Massimo Perina ahead of Johnny Kaminsky. Best of the AM drivers, Ray Acosta ahead of Jay Logan and Brad Falver. It was Jan Bernier that took the Copa Shell win, and he was ahead of Gerdes van Slovers, but in class, he was ahead critically of Mitchell Green and Chuck Whittle. Melissa Kozira, what a weekend she has had. She took P1 ahead of Michael Owens, and Tom Petramalo taking P3. And there you can see confirmation of the classification. There's the race statistics. Ray Acosta featuring in every column of the Trofeo Pirelli AM statistics. Top speed, and just one of them. So we're standing by for the podium to get underway. It's going to be Michele Mambelli that will bring the drivers out on the podium. And bear in mind, there are 4 podiums: Pirelli, Pirelli AM, Shell, and Shell AM. So that is the number of the race-winning car, 215, Dylan Medler. We can hear Michele Mambelli, who's about to bring everyone out on the podium. Taking P3, Massimo Perina for Ferrari of Seattle. Roberto Perina taking P2 for Ferrari of Seattle. And Dylan Medler on the top step of the podium for Ferrari Challenge, Trofeo Pirelli. And well done to the collection Ferrari of Miami. And here comes the national anthem.
Il nostro grande applauso per questo podio dei vincitori. I trofei sono presentati da Tony Villander.
Here's Tony Villander, then Ferrari Ambassador Driver, to make the trophy presentation. First of all to Massimo Perina for taking P3. Roberto Perina takes P2. And then on the top step of the podium, it is going to be Dylan Medler that will take the race winner's trophy. Well done, Dylan.
Il trofeo per il team The Collection.
And of course the collection Ferrari of Miami are going to be in receipt of a trophy as well.
E siamo pronti anche per il trofeo Pirelli con Emilia Capasso, Motorsport Marketing Manager, che consegna il trofeo al vincitore.
And there Dylan Medler taking the Pirelli
Emilia,
trophy
Tony sul
as well.
podio, please drivers, all on the first step.
And photographs now for our Pirelli drivers.
Up your trophy. Okay. Amazing. Now
who will
Tony,
win the champagne race?
Emilia and the team manager out of the podium. Please
No,
wait,
he's escaped.
drivers.
It's going to be Dylan Medler.
3, 2, 1,
It's going to be Dylan Medler. I'm afraid it isn't. It was Massimo Perina who was quickest. So the collection driver, Ferrari of Miami, Dylan Medler, was victorious, P1. Up next, we will have the Pirelli Am podium, I suspect. And in the Drivers' Championship, final scores. Massimo Perina, 473, Dylan Medler, 429, then Roberto Perina, 413. Okay, here comes the Pirelli Am podium. We will be seeing Brad Falva, Jay Logan, and Ray Acosta. Here comes Brad. Been very lucky in that I've sat at dinner with Brad Falva and his son Gray Falva more than once and had a great time with them. Here's Jay Logan. And on the top step of the podium, here comes Ray Acosta. Milk it, Ray. Milk it, Ray. And Olam is up there as well for Ferrari of Miami and the collection.
Sempre il nostro applauso che saluta I
Okay,
vincitori.
it's time for the trophies to be presented. Once again, Tony Villante, Ferrari ambassador driver. He makes the trophy presentation first of all to Brad Falva, who I say, with Gray Falva, his son, I've had some great dinners with. P2 trophy to Jay Logan, and then Ray Acosta receives the race winners trophy.
Grande festa con Tony Villander, trofeo anche per il Team Z Collection.
And the collection, of course, are in receipt of the Cobra Team trophy.
Ecco la consegna Emilia Capasso di Pirelli Motorsport Marketing Manager.
Emilia Capasso here from Pirelli to make the Pirelli presentation to Ray Acosta.
Invito ancora una volta Emilia sul podio,
right,
please.
Let's get the photos underway then.
On the first step of the podium, please, together, and lift your trophy. Yoo-hoo!
Yoo-hoo!
Okay. Podio Mugello, gara 2.
Acosta will win the champagne race, no question. No question. Oh, I was wrong. It was Brad Falva. Well done, Brad. So, driving for the collection, Ferrari of Miami, they've done really, really well, haven't they? Taking both wins in Pirelli Am. Ray Acosta doing the honours in Pirelli Am. And in the Drivers' Championship, it ends up with Brad Falva ahead of Sebastian Mascaro, Ray Acosta, Jay Logan, Curtis Venslovas, Ofer Levy, David Musial and Robert McWilliams. They are the top 8 drivers in the Trofeo Pirelli Am North America Drivers' Championship. We're standing by for the Shell podium next. Chuck Whittle, Mitchell Green, and Jan Bernier.
Chuck Whittle.
Here comes Chuck.
Podio. Secondo classificato Mitchell Green.
Here comes Mitchell Green. He's had a stellar season.
E vittoria per Jan Bernier.
Jan Bernier to the top step of the podium.
Sul podio Coppa Lady.
And,
team,
of course,
Ferrari
Lisa Clark for Coppa Ladies and Ferrari of Seattle will be represented as well.
Anthem.
Here comes the anthem.
Grande applauso per i vincitori. I trofei sono presentati da Dino Beganovic, Scuderia Ferrari HP Driver Academy. Trofeo per il terzo classificato Chuck Whittle.
Chuck Whittle in receipt of the trophy. And what we've got drivers here from the Drivers Academy. Dino Beganovic, who was with us on the air just a few moments ago, is on trophy presentation duties.
Jan Bernier,
Jan Bernier in receipt of his trophy.
Il trofeo per il
So the top three for the Shell drivers
Clark, trofeo Lady, Lisa
have
Clark.
received their trophies, and Lisa Clark will be in receipt of the ladies' trophy
E
as well from
sempre
Dino.
grande lavoro per Dino per il trofeo team
And of course,
Ferrari
Copa team
of
to Ferrari of Seattle.
Prego Dino sul podio, se ci stiamo, tutti vicini. Driver please on the first step, and Dino on the, and lady, okay, on the podium.
And everyone on the podium then for the photographs.
Drivers, lift your trophy, okay.
Well done to all of you. It is Jan Bernier, race winner, Mitchell Green, P2, Chuck Whittle, P3, and Lisa Clark.
Dino and the team manager out, and now we are ready for the Champagne
Bernier,
battle.
Jan Bernier, by a country mile, won the Champagne race. And this is the car that gave him that victory, the Ferrari of Seattle driver, Jan Bernier, driver of the 332 car. And in the Drivers' Championship, that's telling us that Mitchell Green has won the championship ahead of Jan Bernier and Brad Evans, which is different to the information that we had. So we await confirmation, but that says that Mitchell Green took it. Meantime, Shell Am.
Secondo gradino del podio per Michael Owens.
Tom Petramalo.
E di nuovo vincitrice
P2, Michael Owens. And here comes Melissa Kozira with Bill, who will be giving it plenty
Team
down there.
Ferrari of Naples. Prego, sul podio.
There's lots of
per il National Anthem.
lots of fantastic noise. National Anthem.
Grande applauso, i trofei sono presentati da Rafa Camaro, scuderia Ferrari HP driver.
So Rafa Camaro, who was also on the air with us just a few moments ago, making the trophy presentation. First of all to Tom Petramalo, and then to Michael Owens. And then to the race winner, 2 out of 2 this weekend, Melissa Kozira.
Un altro trofeo, Rafa, sempre per la vincitrice che vince il trofeo Lady.
And very proud husband, Bill Kozira.
Coppa
Who doesn't need a microphone.
Per Tom Petramalo, Coppa Gentleman.
And Copa Gentleman
Questo è
trophy.
il trofeo per il dealer, per il team, che è il Ferrari of Naples.
And Ferrari of Naples in receipt of trophy
Okay,
as
Rafa,
well.
sul podio, please drivers, please near on the first step of the podium, all together on the first step. And Rafa
So,
and the team
photographs to be done.
Lift your trophy, okay.
Rafa Camaro there as well. Ferrari Driver Academy.
Okay,
Well, that's it. Final race. Ferrari Challenge North America is done and dusted.
Okay, wait, drivers.
Of course, the World Final race is still to come.
Battle Champagne!
We have had a blast this season. It's been brilliant. Thank you so much for watching. Just the World Final race is to come. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye for now.